Welcome back to Her Healthy Path. So today I'm going to show you how you can make a chocolate, blueberry, or cherry cheesecake, and it has no added sugar. Now, some of the ingredients do have sugar, and this is the recipe that you need to try. If you haven't tried anything else that I've made, which is perfectly fine, but you need to try this one, especially if you're going to be hosting anything, you want to have a dish that's going to impress. It's an easy dessert. Please do it. And as always, check the description to have all the ingredients and the instructions. Everything that you need to know is always in the description. So what I did first was I put the frozen organic blueberries. Of course, you don't have to have organic. That's just what we keep on hand. And I added in 2 tablespoons of honey to the 1.5 cups. My measurements won't always be correct because I'm doing it after the fact. So check the description. Then I'm just adding a cornstarch and lemon juice mixture. This is just to thicken, and the lemon juice does help to bring out the flavors. So that's why I'm thinking it's here, but I'm sure you can sub it with any other kind of citrus. Orange would probably be really nice. And so I'm just mixing it with the measuring spoon. You guys kind of know how I am. I don't waste my dishes, and I did splash them on me. So I put the blueberries and the honey. The honey, of course, has sweetness to it, but it's a natural sweetener. And I'm just breaking up the berries because they will start to stick together when they were frozen. And I'm sure you can use fresh as well, but this is just going to release more juices when it thaws. As you can see, the liquid is increasing. And I was actually supposed to add in butter first here, let it melt, and then let it cook a little bit more, and then add the cornstarch mixture, but I did it in reverse. I'm sure it didn't really change anything. Just want to be careful whenever you're dealing with fruit juices like this. It's very easy to get away from you and for it to stick, so you want to keep stirring constantly. And honestly, I didn't see what the butter did for it. So if you're vegan, or if you just want to leave it out, I'm sure you can do that. It won't change the process. Then I did add in the 1/8 of almond extract. And then we're just going to take it off, put it in a bowl, let it cool for at least 2 hours. And this mixture on its own tasted really good. Then we're going to mix the cream cheese with some other ingredients. So we're going to have some more lemon juice, some vanilla extract. Trying to make sure you guys could see me. I try to keep my hands out of the focus of the camera, but as I keep going, I'll get better. And then you're supposed to use softened cream cheese. Now, when I'm doing these things, my children have gone for a nap usually. I rush. I try to just get things done. So I did not soften this. And you'll see what happens when you don't do things 100% as you should. So we're also going to have some sweetened condensed milk. And that, again, is where it has sugar in it. But we're just not adding any extra sugar. And this recipe is really easy if you don't usually bake. I know a lot of people are either good at cooking or baking. Some people are good at both. But if you want to bake something, for the first time, I think that this is something good to try, especially if you do like cheesecake. It's just, 3 different components, but they're all very easy, especially when you have a mixer. So here I am just mixing it. Now, if it was softer, it would have mixed easier, and it will have a little bit of clumps, but once it melts a little bit more, which is what I did, I paused it, let it melt a little bit more. It's going to mesh together. When I was eating it, you could not tell, but it'll look better if you do it properly. So do it properly. And you're going to just whip it until it's fluffy. So while that was going, I decided to get the bottom cookie portion done. So I got a Ziploc. I always do things very easy, and you just break it up however you desire. Now they recommend using a rolling pin, and I'm sure it will work really well, but I didn't do that. I just decided to use an oil bottle that I had that was kind of closer, easier to get, and I just crushed it up. And then I did use it as a rolling pin just to break it up even more. Now you can use whatever cookies you want. This one actually said to use chocolate wafers. I decided I'm going to use some chocolate chips instead. And so I'm going to show you how to do that. But this recipe is even easier if you just use the chocolate wafers. I'm not sure how it will taste, but it gives it a darker color on the bottom that you would be more used to. And so to this cookie mixture, I could have added one more cookie. They weren't very specific on it, so I wasn't really sure. But you wanted to have a sandy-ish mixture. Mine had a little bit more moisture. So just make sure it's really sandy. And you can use, I just use what's on hand. I had some honey graham crackers, and that worked really well. But there's also those little cookies. I can't think of the name, but you use them in banana pudding. Those would work really well as well. So what I did was I heated up some more butter in the same little container, and I just put some chocolate chips, and I just eyeballed it. It probably was about 1/4 cup, and then I just mixed it in. This was just so I didn't have to do a double boiler method to melt my chocolate, because chocolate does burn very easily. So I knew that I wasn't going to have a perfect mixture, and there might be some chunks left, and that's perfectly fine, especially since I did use the mini chocolate chips. And then we're going to take that mixture once it melts down as much as it can, just adding it into the cheesecake mixture. This is how it looked, and you will see that it will take on a darker color. And I just start off low. You always want to start low and then move it higher. You don't want things flying all around. So here you'll see the little chunks. I'm telling you, well, of course they're right, but I'm telling you, you really couldn't, there was no difference. And this was actually supposed to be in little wine glasses, which look really good, but I didn't want to do that. I just decided to put it in a bowl. This really was supposed to be my treat. And so I just said, I don't need those individual portions. I want to get as much as I want at a time. Just greediness. And so I just put that in there, tried to smooth it out as much as I could. And then you just put the berries on top, or cherries if you decide to use those. And I'm sure it would be good with like raspberries or a raspberry blueberry mix, even strawberries. I was fine with using blueberries because I know they do chocolate covered blueberries, chocolate covered strawberries, all of those will be fine. But this one, like I said, I would continue to make it like this. I'm sure the cherry one tastes really good too, but this is just something that I always have in my house. So the hardest thing about this recipe is going back and forth and waiting. So once we do this, we have to wait again for it to set. And I would have liked it to have a little bit more juice. I was trying to smooth it out, but I think it looks nice to give it kind of like a marble-ish look. So I took it out and I was ready to try some. I was just so curious. I didn't even wait till after dinner. And this is what it looked like, the 3 different layers. Now this is so rich, so sweet. It has just complex flavors. It is really good. And I tried to scoop out all 3. So that's why it would have been better in a wine glass or small containers. So you can make sure you keep all 3 components without really messing it up and kind of mixing it together. Of course, you're going to eat all 3 together, but it would have just been less uniform if I would have done it that way. But anyway, I wasn't paying attention, and so you won't really even see it on frame. But this was really good. It's really dreamy. Definitely try this. You won't regret it. And let me know if you do. I hope you enjoyed today's video. I upload every Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, and Sunday. So like, subscribe, and I look forward to seeing you. Bye.